Hey everybody, my name is Derek. Today I want to talk about some stuff that's been going on with the Minneapolis riots and how I feel about the whole situation. I mean, this situation is so messed up that they're stating that there were white people, some white people from other areas that were burning down black businesses. I want to throw a little history at you guys about in 1921 Tulsa, where in Oklahoma, where they burned down Black Wall Street. See, history tends to repeat itself. But this time they wanted to blame us, like we were the ones who were burning down. We were the ones who were doing this. We didn't burn down our own. Governor have seen what was actually really going on. And 80%, come on guys. This isn't about you. This isn't about color in my opinion. This is about racist white people who are hurting black people and keeping us down. We have to find a way to move forward. If you look throughout history, we were slaves in the 1600s. Then we thought we had something. 1776, we thought that we were going to get freedom. All liberty for men. Nope, nothing. 1861 to 1865. Who joined the war? Black people. And who helped out America? Black people. Who built this world during the Industrial Revolution? Black people. Now, let me explain that to you. During that time frame, black people didn't get any credit. There's over 700 inventors, probably more, that invented things that white people use now. And they're still not getting credit. If I go to white schools, they're not going to talk about that type of stuff. I'm speaking up because young youth need to understand what their history is. You know what? I understand you guys are like the rioting, the looting, and all that stuff. I get it. But you guys have to realize there's a boiling point where we look at history during the Reformation age, where for those 12 years we thought that white people were going to help us do right with us. You know what they really did? They put us in jail and said, ooh, now we have a new version of slavery. We arrest black people on petty crimes or things that they really have not done, and now we can make money from it, and throughout history we can make tons and tons of money. As we see 100 years later, the same process is now following. We have black people who are now in this time frame suffering from that hundreds of years of black people being enslaved through the prison system, being enslaved through police brutality. That's what we seen on the 25th. We seen that an innocent black man who got nailed on his neck and died. And you know what? I think about myself. I think about my wife. I think about my parents. I think that to some of these racist white people, our life doesn't matter. We're nothing to them. You know what? My mama also used to tell me something. She said, some people are going to look at you like you are always going to be a nigger to them. And other people are going to respect you. But you know what I seen on Monday? I seen that most of America looks at us like we are niggers, and they don't give a damn on who we are and on what we accomplish, how many degrees we have, how educated we are. They don't care on who we are and what we did with our life. I don't care if you're a rapper. I don't care if you're an NFL star or if you're Ivy League. If a cop sees you and he's racist and he shoots you, he's probably going to get off and he's going to be able to walk away free. I want to jump back to some more history. If you look at 1967, where the riots, and then we try to be peaceful and we didn't get anything. If we jump to 1992, we had the Rodney King riots, and we did that, and we still didn't get anything. Why are we still dealing with this in 2020? You know what? We tried kneeling during the national anthem, but then we get knocked down for that because we were kneeling. Our people are kneeling to protest peacefully. Now you're angry about all this. Don't get me wrong. I don't condone looting or stealing. I don't want people to look at this video and say, oh, he's condoning looting, he's condoning stealing. He's one of those black people who are condoning all this evil stuff. That is not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, again, the boiling point. It gets to a point where over 400 years, people are angry, people are mad, and they are ready to fight. and we're on the brink of a race for a civil war. And the best thing I can tell most people is when you see somebody of color and somebody who's going through it, don't try to be try to tell them how to feel. Don't try to control the narrative. A lot of white people love to do this and say, well, it could be worse, or it could be this, or it could be that. No, don't try to control the narrative. This shit needs to end now. We need to stand up. We need to speak out. That's the reason why I'm making this video. 400 years. Another thing I really want to jump on is my own experience. As a black man, I know how it feels. You know how many times in white schools I got called a nigger and I had gotten into arguments? How many times my mom had to threaten teachers so they understand that you don't speak to my son like that? Do you know how many times I was told that I couldn't do things because of just my color? It wasn't because of my intelligence, because of my color. And then we fast forward to me being an adult, and I'll tell you the times of me dealing with the police. In 2015, I got pulled over and said, "Ooh, your car's stolen." I told the cop, "No, it's not." The cop is like, "I need to see everything." I said, "Oh," I show him everything. I show him I even own the car, and he said, "Oh, well, I knew you owned the car the whole entire time." This guy had his hand on his gun. He was ready. I was like, oh God, I'm like, this is gonna turn out bad. Again, 2 years later, I got followed by a cop for about 20 minutes. And I turned into like a caribou. The cop turned into the caribou with me and just waited there for 15, 20 minutes to see if I did anything. I looked back at the cop. The cop realized I wasn't a threat and he drove off. 15, 20 minutes. That was just ridiculous.
That's just so scary, being black.
In America, being black is the worst thing it feels like, and it's just nothing you can do. You learn to live with this, and you learn how to live a different life. Again, in 2018, I accidentally got out of the car because I misunderstood the cop. The cop went and reached for his gun and said, "Don't you get out of the car. Don't you ever get out of the car." I'm like, "Oh, okay, dude." I'm like, "I'm sorry." I'm like, "I didn't know that. I thought you said get out of the car." "No," I said, "Was this outside of the car?" He was asking about something about being outside of the car. I just misunderstood him. But the dude was ready to shoot me. 3 encounters with cops that were dang near close to me getting hurt for not doing anything. And you know, this is the reason why we're angry. And this is the reason why we're fed up. We don't want to deal with this anymore. We want to see justice. We want to see justice for George Floyd. We want to see him get justice. We want to see all 4 of those guys get arrested. We want to see first-degree murder. That's what we want to see. Because if this doesn't end, there will be a civil war or a race war. I mean, I don't know what else to really tell you guys, but that's the reality of it. Nobody is going to, black people are just not going to sit and deal with it anymore. Like they said, they ain't their grandparents. 400 years is a long time, people. We are educated, we are strategic, we are college educated. We're not slaves anymore. We own businesses. And while some of these racist white people are burning down our businesses and trying to take, we won't stop fighting. No. We won't. And a lot of white people stand with us. And I really want to make that clear. It's not that I hate white people. My mom looks like snow. She's very high yellow. I have white relatives I love and I cherish. I have white family members and friends and everything. But I want people to understand why this is so important. I want them to get it. Because I know some white people, they're going to say, "Well, why are you guys burning your own business down?" We already proved that we're not doing that. "Well, why are you guys looting and stealing?" That's not all black people. That's some black people. You can't blame one person for a whole entire race. You can't even blame 50 people for 400 of other black people. You can't do that. That's racism. That's stereotype. You think I'm out here saying, "Oh, that white person's racist. That white person's a Klan member." Granted, we have a lot of white supremacists that are coming here to Minnesota. Right now, me and my wife feel like we're living through the purge. The black and white version of like the racist purge. I think the best thing that we're trying to do is we're trying to use a platform just to shed light and explain how we feel. when you go through something like this and you're really dealing with it, the best thing you can do is just speak your mind. This really helped me a lot too, because now I'm really explaining like how I felt very angry. I couldn't sleep. My stomach was moving up and down. I'm like, I only got like 2 hours of sleep because I'm thinking like, you know, me and my wife, we live in the suburbs ourselves. I'm thinking like, what if I go ahead and drive down the street and a cop is angry at me just because he was mad at somebody else for looting? He sees me and says, well, he may not be doing anything, but I'll shoot him if I have to, and say, well, he was resisting. Or if I go jogging, somebody's gonna shoot me while I'm out here in the suburbs. I really want anybody who is on white to really understand this, and I know some of you guys do, but I want you guys who are the ones screaming all lives matter, the ones who are in the suburbs like I am, who are 3 or 4 blocks to the side, to the right, and right down the street. I want you guys to really take the time and really understand what African Americans are going through right now. And once you get it, it will really hit you. You will really understand, wow, I didn't think about 400 years of oppression. I didn't think about what it is to be black on a daily. You guys think just because a black man is college educated, I have 2 college degrees, over a decade experience in my field, and make pretty decent money. And even now at this point, I'm still realizing no matter how well you try to speak, no matter how much you try to uphold yourself, people are still going to look at you a certain way. But I feel like this year we can really make a change on that. Sweetie, you want to say anything here too?
Yes,
Yeah,
I do have my input on whatever going on. Like a lot of you guys pretty much know like the whole story with the guy that got murdered on Monday, May 25th, because it has been over the news and social media. It was just terrible to see. To be honest, coming from Africa, I never experienced racism, or I never knew it was a big issue that was going on in the Western world, specifically in the U.S. So with me experiencing this, it's just like what just happened? Like what's going on? Why is it such a big deal with being black and being white? I feel like we all should be able to live together, and we all should be able to accomplish goals and do whatever we want, not based on our skin color or our skin tone. We don't have control over that. You just have to accept whatever skin you were born in, and other people have to accept you. So with the whole racism going on, that shooting black men and being black is just scary to live in the US these days. I'm just shocked. I just don't even know what to say. It's just scary now. Like we went to the grocery store today. I was even afraid of the cashier because I don't know if she's gonna think I'm part of the people that was looting and breaking stuff just because I am black, or I feel like she's have some type of opinion about me. I'm just not safe anymore. I feel like when I see a white person walking by, I'm like, is he gonna like me, or is he gonna try to murder me? It's just like you're just living in this scary world these days. I really don't like what's going on, but we don't have control over it. We as a black people, African American, African people of color, I think it's time for all us to come together and work together and fight this war, because this is a non any battle. This is gonna be going on for, like my husband said, we have been fighting this war for 400 years, and it's gonna continue. We just have to come back together and fight this war smarter, and because there are a few white people that are trying to make the blacks look bad. They're burning places down, they're murdering people and raping women and stuff, and pinning it on the black people that's out there and fighting for that right and freedom. And I think we are the black people, I think we should come together and make a plan on how to do this thing, because the white people, they're not trying to stop. They're coming after us. They are coming after us. I just don't know what to say. I don't know how to deal with racism, because I grew up in Africa. We, thank God, we don't have to deal with that, because majority of the people that live there were all black. There's just few whites that there. So I didn't really deal with racism until I came to the US. Even when I came to the US and couple of years living in the U.S., I didn't understand why it was such a big deal with the black and the white community wasn't getting along. It was just this and that, the black this, the white this. I'm like, well, what's the big deal with this? But after living here for years, now I understand like the whole situation and how the black feels and stuff like that. Now I'm trying to understand it, but at first I had no idea why it was such a big deal until now. Now I do.
And I just want to chime in on that. You know, me, I'm pro-black. I love black businesses. I love black culture. I love being black. I love my black culture. I love my skin tone. I love my African wife. I love everything about our culture. The sad thing about it is we're getting a bad name. We're getting treated horribly, and we're tired. We're truly tired. And it has come to a point where I'm not going to stop speaking out. My friends and family will not stop speaking out. We will not be silenced. Like George said, I can't breathe. We're being suffocated by all this racism and all the stuff that we're getting treated. Nobody here is trying to play victim, but what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the respect that we deserve. We want that right to be able to walk in a store and not feel like we're gonna get looked at for 20 minutes. We want that right to be able to jog without possibly getting shot by a racist white person. We want that right to not be getting called a nigger. Because, and I know black people use it, I use it, my wife uses it as a nigga and all stuff like that, as a slang. And that's a whole nother topic, but we want respect. And if some of these racist white people don't want to give it, black people, we will.
Gotta fight for it.
We will fight for it.
We will take it. Fight for it.
We will take our respect back. And that's just the end of it. All right. This is the reality we're living in. Again, guys, we appreciate you tuning in. There'll be a lot more to come in the near future, and we'll definitely keep you updated on everything. All right. Black Power.